What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Monday, December 7th. We've got about 40 minutes left of trading. It's 12:20 on the West Coast. The market's pretty much flat, but the money school portfolio is we're having our first 5% day to the upside, which is awesome. So before we dive into that, I wanted to take a look at the market, see what's going on. Tesla rallying into the inclusion on the 21st of December. I mean, it's $644 now. Just This chart is just incredible. Um, I don't know when this is going to stop. Um, Probably right after the inclusion, but who knows? Um, we have a good chunk of Tesla, but just continues to rally and be a monster. Zillow up nicely. That's great. That's another one of our stocks. Um, I mean, we're having a 5% day, so we're pretty much hitting the mark all the way across the board. So, worst stock in our universe today is DocuSign. We do have a good position in that. Other than that, all of these other red names we've pretty much missed. So let's look at what our positions are so far. We are above 51,000. We started with 41,007 on September 10th. So we're closing in on up 10K, and we're closing in on our first 3 months trading in a couple of days. So I believe that's Wednesday or Thursday. So let's look at our positions. What we've done now, the portfolio is a little bit different. Sorry, slight hiccup. What we've done in the portfolio is we've trimmed the positions down in terms of stock. The target is to hold about $2,000 of stock in the company that we want to hold, and then about $1,000 of options in the front month. All of the options we have now are in January. We're going to hold these in January for another couple of weeks, and then over the next week, we're going to start rolling these into February, buy a little bit more time, but that'll be another discussion. All of the positions now are roughly $2,000 of stock and $1,000 of options over the top. Anything bigger than that, considering overweight and higher conviction, the two that fall into that category right now are Amazon. Um, Amazon and Tesla. Some of them are a little bit over, but have the same strategy applied all the way down. Some positions like Target, I don't have any stock there. It's just a option spread, like the 185, 195s. It's currently trading in the 170s, so I like to have $10 spreads just outside the money. So that's what we're sitting on here. The view has gotten more complicated due to adding in the options, which has been harder to find a platform to do these live streams. But this is what we're working with, and this is what we have. Some stocks I wanted to talk about. Laser. This just went public last week. They created the world's youngest electric vehicle billionaire. He's 25 years old. Really interesting company. I bought this on Friday for 31. It's now 42, which is sweet. I also had the $25 and $30 call options, which opened up today really nicely. I rolled those to the 40s. Now those 40s are in the money, but there's quite a bit of premium. I think the break even on those is like $48. It's $8 premium or so last time I checked, but that's been a big winner. This portfolio only has a little bit of stock, and let's see what our basis here was 31. Yeah, we only have 20 shares, so it was a small position in here. I played it with options in another portfolio. Had a nice run here in these it's just such a bad view. But MP has had a nice run. This call spread, the 25-30s. I also had those from I had originally a 17 and a half, 25, $7.50 call spread in there, and then I rolled those up and tightened it up because it's a new stock. There's not a ton of strikes, and I've been playing that at the 25, 30. So above 25 is in the money. Profits are going to be capped at $30. It's about $27 right now. Last time I checked, it has had a nice run. Yeah, $27. So we have stock, and then which I've also trimmed a little bit. Most of these positions you can see on this side are around 2000. Did some light maintenance. The live stream is going to be less every single trade and more overviews of what I'm holding and what's going on in the markets. It's just a little bit easier to manage just because for a number of reasons. It's hard to talk and execute the exact way that I want to. So just kind of mix some things up. But let's see here. I wanted to hop into sectors and see what's working. ARK is on the radar right now just because they have so much Tesla. They're really getting a ton of outperformance. They also have a lot of other innovative companies that are getting a lot of attention. So the whole portfolio is working really nicely for ARK. You can see of all the sectors we follow, I mean, we don't follow every sector out there, obviously, but we follow all the main ETFs that get a ton of cash and that are on my radar. In ARK right now, I mean, they have 5 of the top 10. So they're having a nice day. It's just a nice risk-on day in the market. If you're in tech, I mean, it's the little part of the market. I think that the major companies are going to face a lot of pressure as Tesla continues to spike like this, and the indexes need to buy, $70 billion of Tesla on one day. They're going to need to sell other stocks to create room and capital and all those funds. So I'm trying to tilt a little bit away from the megas as much, and that'll probably be reflected in some trades here over the next couple of days, just because there's some assumptions that came in after the election. I think people were assuming that these 2 seats in Georgia were going to at least be split. I have a sneaky suspicion that they might go both blue, and we could be looking at a 51-50 Democratic-controlled Senate, which is going to mean taxes. If that happens, we're going to see a sell-off of the mega cap tech and the stuff that's just done really, really well. But, I mean, that's still to be seen. That election isn't for a couple of weeks to be finished up. But a lot of people were thinking there was going to be a split. One of the seats yesterday, the dude debated an empty podium because the guy didn't even show up. It was Perdue, Senator Perdue, who's done all the insider trading stuff. So it's like, that guy didn't even show up. I don't know how that's going to reflect in the polls, but it can't be good. So it's interesting to see. I personally thought that at least one of those would go that way, would go red, and just keep things balanced. But I think there's an increasing chance that the outcome of those 2 runoff seats go both Democratic, and that it will land in favor of potentially more aggressive tax policy against either capital gains or just income tax in general, which is going to force a lot of people to want to book their trade or book their earnings. It's going to create twofold effect. I think it'll incent some people short term to sell, and it's going to create a long term effect of higher taxes. You only get taxed when you sell. So for a lot of people, they're going to want to own a lot of growth stocks that are going to grow, and they'll own them in tax deferred accounts, and they'll actually not mind the higher tax environment as much as people might think. So I think there might be a knee-jerk reaction on that outcome, but I think long term it's probably going to be either fine or positive. We bought Salesforce at exactly the wrong time in here, which is sweet. I think they're going to bounce back in here. It's a good company. That we got it right ahead of earnings like some rookies. And then they announced the Slack deal, which the world hated. I think it's going to be a great move long term, but I didn't buy it on that news. I bought it right before that news, and then it's gone from 250. I want to say, yeah, we got it like 250 something. They have a great CEO. They're going to figure this out. That view is terrible. All right, losing some steam into the close. We'll let this go. I just wanted to check in really quick, show you what I'm holding. I have another view that I can show. I mean, man, struggling to find a view that can. Thinkorswim isn't as good for the rest of the live trade stuff, but it also consolidates the positions, so it's easier to show you um, the overall net position of the stock and options together. So we'll probably work on that in the future, but you can see the full portfolio. We're having a good 5% day, almost 5% day. And we'll keep rocking along. I think things are going to continue to be overall pretty positive. I think the biggest risk to the market is potentially Tesla being disruptive to other large cap tech stocks. I would assume, I've been thinking about, what's going to be the most disrupted in the indexes when Tesla goes in. It's going to be the larger stocks are going to be impacted more than the smaller ones, I would believe. But if you have any input on that, feel free to comment. And then AMD's kind of been on its butt in that 93, 94 range. I'm looking for this one to make a move. Whoever designed this software, come on. For real. Goofy. All right. This one's been kind of consolidating here in this range for a few days. It struggles to get up to all-time highs. I think they need to actually deliver a lot more of their new Zen 3 chips, but they've already announced a PlayStation 4 Pro, which has 2 GPUs. Both those GPUs are AMD, which I think is awesome. There's probably some pressure on the stock because Apple has some news about them just creating their own, basically, super processors for their high-end computers, but the architecture from that is built by ARM, which is owned potentially by God, I have so many alerts going off. AMD is down a little bit because Apple is releasing their own upgraded M1 chip already, and that M1 chip is designed by ARM, which is owned by NVIDIA, which is a direct competitor to AMD. So I think there's going to be some push-pull as we start sorting out who's going to be delivering a lot of these consumer-grade processors over the next couple of years, and who's going to be delivering and providing a lot of the consumer-grade and Bitcoin-grade. I guess we just need to consider that going forward. Graphics cards. So they're right in the mix. Their reviews have been great. The supply from both AMD and NVIDIA has been a nightmare, which has kept both stocks in check. I think when they both start to deliver their chips, they're going to have a nice move higher. So we're staying with those and with those companies. So I'll let this go. We've got about 20 minutes left to go in trading. Hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Going to try to be a little bit more active on here, but it's been harder to do these live streams with this layout. It's not the same. It just kind of drives me nuts, to be honest. So we'll figure it out. Keep telling you that, but I promise you I'm working on it. Have a good rest of your day, good rest of your week, and I'll talk to you soon.